Start recording. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 803. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. Visit my YouTube page for all the videos for the shows starting from the beginning of 2021. I got them all posted on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. MICHAEL SMITH MTS. And please click subscribe while you're there. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call for IT pros and MSPs. They provide unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link on my website at miketechshow.com. And remember to use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial. The show is also brought to you by MagnusBox. They are the ultimate online backup solution. They just launched this week their new data center in Las Vegas. If you mention the Mike Tech Show, you will get free white labeling. That means you can use the MagnusBox backup service and brand it as your own company for your own backup service, which is very, very cool. Also, the platform fee, you get a discount, 50% off for the first 3 months. They're HIPAA compliant. I use them for all my clients that want online backups. That's the place. Go check out the trial. There are features that all of the partners have, you get to play with in a demo to be able to test it, kick the tires. You'll love it, and then start putting your clients on it. That's magnusbox.com. I have great show lined up tonight. You heard me talk about my RAM issue, and everybody's heard me rant in the chat before the show, after the show, where when I got back down from Pennsylvania, I was having lockup problems with my system. It kept rebooting. I did a quick Microsoft memory test and it failed. So I know the RAM was bad. I bought the replacement RAM, but it's so difficult getting underneath my desk, disconnecting everything, getting it all set up. Well, Saturday, I couldn't take it anymore. So we're going to talk about what I went through Saturday and some valuable lessons on what to do when you're doing a memory test. Then we're going to talk about secret features for VLC. So very simple show. But during the first part of this, I am going to be displaying my screen and running a bunch of utilities here tonight, demonstrating some of the challenges that you see that I have with my system. So very, very cool. Anyway, something, I forgot to mention, please remember to use my Amazon link. All the show notes, there's a link for Amazon. Also on the left-hand side, if you update that link, put it and bookmark it, when you buy something and put it in your cart, and then it ships and you pay for it, I will get a commission. It helps support the Mike Tech Show. I really appreciate it. Your price stays the same, and especially now for all of the holidays coming up, you desperately want to use Amazon. They're incredible return policies, but use my link, please. Thank you. That's the best way to support the show. So let's begin on Saturday, and I'm talking about the Beast 2, which was built by Carrie Holzman in June of 2020 in Arizona, and he shipped it to me. As I got down here for the first time moving in, and the system came the next day. We timed everything perfectly. My desk was already assembled. then we ran into a problem with the video card. And I already talked about that, how to replace the video card. So it's very interesting. So now, Saturday, I locked up right before I started recording the show. I'm like, I can't believe this. And then Saturday night, 3 times in a row, and I was like, that's it. I have to do it. So, shut everything down. I prep my kitchen area, which there's this big granite island. I put the rubber mat down that I need, and I unplug everything for the computer. I bring it in, hook it up, and hook it up. I get a power strip. I have a spare monitor, spare keyboard, spare mouse. I get it all connected. I take off the side, and the first thing I do is reseat the memory, because it might have shifted. There might have been an issue during the shipping, and then finally it's like worked its way out of the socket. So I reseated the memory, and then I had pre-built a bootable MTS 86 bootable USB. That'll be the first link for tonight in the show notes, which will be the link so you can make that. It's so easy to do. Once I got everything hooked up, I booted with the USB. It immediately started reporting errors. And I mean, they started racking up. Over 9,000 errors in a couple minutes. Even MTS put a big failed in red on the screen and read, you have so many errors, we've stopped running the program. And I'm like, okay, we knew the RAM was bad. That just confirmed it. Popped those 2 sticks out, and I said, let me determine which one. Well, the RAM is a matched pair, and I noticed something, and I might not have had it in the right slot, but I could not boot my system with just one 16 gig stick. There are 2 Corsair Vengeance 16 gig sticks. So I put one in, nope, no joy. Put another one in, nope, could not boot. I was like, that's it. You know what? I know the RAM's bad. Let's put the new RAM in. Put the new RAM in, ran mem test, beautiful, no errors, nothing. I'm like, this is great. So everything's nice. Now the hard part. I have to get down and put it all back. So I took a light that I have here on the right. It's got a long cord on it, and put that down on the floor. Still had a flashlight. Grabbed a mat that I have, or one of the mats outside that's on the patio furniture, just to cushion myself. Got my phone, got everything down, got down on the ground, and carefully connected every device. The hard part was getting back up. So I used this chair as a brace, and I got up. And now I'm crossing my fingers. I turned the monitors on and hope that everything booted. Everything booted perfectly. I'm like, this is a couple hour process, and we're good to go. So with that, you're like, Mike, why? It's not that hard. Why couldn't you have just done this a month ago? What is connected to my computer? And I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you. I'm going to run some utilities. The Logitech illuminated keyboard, the transmitter for the Logitech wireless mouse, that's on a USB extension cable. I have a backup mouse, a Dell wired mouse, a USB cable going to the UPS. The camera that I have, that goes to a USB-C port. That's the Logi camera. The cable for the mixer. Now, the mixer sits in a drawer, except for when I'm recording, but I have the cables all around. So all I got to do is put the mixer on the table and connect it in. There are 3 Samsung 24-inch monitors here. 2 of them are DisplayPort. 1 of them's HDMI. We have the Ethernet cable. There's a 12 terabyte external drive that plugs in, that sits on top of the system. There's the Sound Blaster DAC for sound when I have my headset on and I want enhanced sound. There's a USB extension cable that comes to the top of my desk so I don't have to get down on the ground and do that. We have Logitech speakers and subwoofer underneath, and then an antenna for Wi-Fi. So now you get the idea why it took, it was not high priority, even though I would occasionally get the error once a week, maybe twice a week, where, hey, it worked most of the time. There was just slight inconvenience. I really needed help for all this, but I sucked it up, got it all done. I'm like, okay. So let's run a few things here so I can show you. I am going to launch the Malwarebytes toolkit, the benchmark toolkit. So that's the wrong monitor, isn't it? Hold on a second. That's the recording. So we're going to pause. I'm going to pause the audio. And hold on a second. The monitor changed. Oh, the monitor's changed. That's funny. After redoing the system. Okay. So now I have the right monitor on the display. This is everything that's in my system, so you can see. We have 32 gigs of RAM, and there's 2 free slots. We're not going to diag, but we'll go to the details. So that's the new RAM, 2 16 gig sticks. And I love this info screen right here. We have the Intel Core i9 processor, the Gigabyte Z390 Pro Wi-Fi motherboard, and love it, running very, very good. Let's look at details here. I have the latest, greatest firmware. Okay. We have the 3 monitors, and you can see exactly how they're connected. 2 of them are DisplayPort with the resolutions and HDMI. We have as our C drive the bootable 1.82 gig, 2 terabyte. It's a 2 terabyte Samsung drive, a 2 terabyte ADATA. These are both on the motherboard. They are PCI MVE. And then, of course, this is the 12 terabyte Seagate external drive. So, wanted to show you that. And then, you know what? Let's scan for issues. So we use this utility all the time, my son and I. And I'm going to have a link to this. Oh, we have 2 items detected. Let's see what those errors are. If there were a lot of smart errors or a problem with the hard drive, this would detect it doing the scan. So let's finish scanning for issues. And while we're doing that, I want to run Crystal Disk Info, CPU-Z, and then my UPS for the power program. So we got 2 events. Oh, Mozilla maintenance. When did that happen? That happened yesterday. Okay. Yeah, there was a problem with Firefox. Update installations. That was on 10/28. There was an error. So this is pretty good for these errors that were detected. Let's close that up. And let's run CPU-Z. This program gives you such detailed. Now, with the high resolution that I'm recording at, you're not going to see. By the way, I'll double click and there goes all the icons. You're not going to see very clearly here on the video. Without me, I'm not going to change the resolution. But for memory, you'll see the frequency, the latency, everything you want on the RAM, on each of the modules. And you can see it's dual channel, DDR4. We got the speed for the RAM, and you can check each slot. So it's slot 1 and slot 3. Slot 2 and slot 4 is not filled. Graphics, it's the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Super. That is the video card in my system. Now I want to run the power panel from my UPS, and you can see right now, this is why I have that USB cable for that. As you can see, no issue at all, and we're fully charged. I can run everything for 50 minutes. Now let's do event logs for the past, let's say a couple weeks, because I think, here we go. On the 31st, I'm on the system and I'm talking to a client, and it's 5:56, and boom, all the electric goes out in the house. But I remained running because I have a UPS on the internet connectivity, and I have a UPS on my system and my monitors, and I was talking to my client on my cell phone. So I had no interruption as I was remoted into a client. And he says, "What's that beeping?" And I said, "Well, I'm on UPS power because I lost power, but I was still running." I'm stressing the importance of having a UPS. Now it says it's 50 minutes for the estimated runtime. After a half hour on power, I'm shutting down. I'm not going to wait, to drain the whole battery. So I wanted to display those utilities and show you. So one thing I didn't run is Crystal Disk Info, and you know what? Let me call that up, and I will show that. So let me go to downloads, Crystal Disk Info, and remember, it's portable. Run the portable version. So we're going to run Crystal Disk Info portable, and there you go. So you can then touch each drive. So let's look at the C drive. There we go. 2 terabytes, all good. Gives you the temperature. The D drive, all good. Gives you the temperature. And then, of course, the F drive, which is my backup and archive drive. That's the 12 terabytes of what am I using on it? I think I'm using like 5 or 6 terabytes already of it. That's why I had to get such a big drive. I have multiple Acronis backups. I have an archive of everything. And I also have some Fabs auto backup. I test everything. I back up everything. And then I'm also using Magnus Box to back up. So there are so many backups of all my primary systems. I can lose everything and I never have to worry. Well, I don't want to, because you know how painful it is to put everything back and get everything working the way you want. But the story's not over. So you say, "Oh, great, Mike. Now you contact Corsair and you get an RMA and you send the RAM back to get replaced because there's a lifetime warranty." I write out the report on Saturday night, actually maybe even Sunday. I wrote it up, submitted it. Monday, I get a response back, and I'm like, "Oh, great. It's going to give me the address, give me an RMA number." I had to take pictures of the RAM, and let me tell you, the serial numbers are very, very, very small, even with glasses. Thank God I have a magnifying glass, because even to read the serial number, I'm sorry, I don't care how good your vision is. It was so small. It was very, very difficult. So I got the serial numbers. I put everything in. They want the test results from the failed RAM. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I said, look, there were so many errors. Please. I didn't want to tell them I don't want to do it again. Oh, no. They said, no, we can't do anything unless you send us the report. I'm like, you know what? It just is not worth it. I'll toss the memory before I go through all of that again and set it all up. So I'm talking to Carrie Holzman on Monday night. And he's like, Mike, look, he says, I understand. Send me the RAM. Take it to the post office, put it in a box. I'll test it. I'll run the report, and I'll send it in for you. Get the replacement. I'll test it. And see, I'm thinking that's 2 more shows he can do. So do not be surprised if you see a show. He'll get the RAM on Saturday, because on Tuesday I took it to the post office here, and it was $5 to ship it. So if it's going to cost him another $5 to ship it back to me, hey, for $10, to not have to go under and redo all that again. So thank you, Carrie, in advance for doing that. And when it's all done and I get that RAM back, I am going to add it to my system. So then I'll have 64 gig of RAM like its counterpart, the Beast 1 up in Pennsylvania. This is a duplicate, except less RAM. Because RAM prices started going up when I went to order this. And I'm like, look, I don't need 64 gig. When Carrie was building it, I said, let's do 32. Well, now I'm going to get 64, hopefully. But that, I'm glad he's going to do that, because that was better than throwing the RAM away. So, the moral of the story, no matter what, when you're testing RAM, I don't care what it's for, save the report to the USB. You don't know if you're going to need it. And you might want to show a client that report too, or save it. I should have saved it. That's just a lesson going forward. Anytime you're doing any kind of diagnostics, whatever it is, I am going to make sure if there's a way to get those results and save them, I am absolutely going to do it. So that is the one big takeaway from all of this. Now, let's talk about VLC. So Taz sent me a link a couple weeks ago, the 7 top secret features of the free VLC media player. Now, VLC, if you don't know it, and let me tell you, if you don't know it, there will be a link in the show notes for downloading VLC. It is the ultimate media player where you don't need any codecs. It will play anything you throw at it. Did you ever get high def audio and Windows Media Player can't play it? VLC will. I've never had a video format that VLC can't play. So that's a challenge out there. Anybody listening and you found one, let me know. Email me. But right now, VLC, we make sure it is installed on every client's computer because it plays everything. So let's do a quick review of these features. You can use VLC as a video downloader for YouTube. It goes through the steps, step by step, with really nice pictures on how to do that. Now, I think I talked about it. I did a show once for, now remember, for educational purposes only and not for breaking or infringing on any copyright. But let's say you were streaming a concert or there was something, if you have access to that link, you can record it, and VLC is the way to do it. And you can get a very good high quality recording. So that is step one, going through all of the how you can record a stream from online. 2, convert videos to any format. Now, I gotta admit, I have never done this, which is open up a video in one format and save it, convert save. There's an option. Never looked at it for that. I always use VLC to play movies or play music, but I've never, ever done that for some of these tricks here. So you have the steps for converting your video. Here's something I didn't know. VLC as a graphic equalizer for your music. Now, I got to admit, I'm spoiled. I have the Sound Blaster DAC that has its own equalizer built in, and I use that, so that's why I've never went to VLC for that. But that is very cool. Activate audio normalization to protect your ears. So if you're listening to something in VLC and there's a spike in sound real high or real low, it will not do that. That's pretty cool. My oldest son at the convention, the first unconvention in Canada, he lost his hearing in one ear when the sound spiked twice when we were getting ready. And we didn't know this till a few days after. He has what do you call that? Tinnitus, and can't hear out of one ear. So that's something to consider when you have a headset on and you're doing something with VLC. You might want to set that so you don't hurt your eardrums. Play internet radio and podcasts in VLC. That I have done, but a lot of people don't realize that. Loop a section of a video or audio file. Now that's kind of cool. So most media players can loop an entire video or soundtrack. With VLC, you can loop a specific section of a media file. So very nice. And the last one, add features with VLC add-ons and VLC extensions. So with that, I throw it out to everybody listening. Are you using that feature with VLC, and what extensions and add-ons have you found to be worthy and use it? Share that with me, MikeTechShow@gmail.com, and I'll put that in another show. I didn't even realize there was add-ins and extensions. I would love to hear if anybody's using them and for what purpose. That would be awesome, and I will definitely review, go over that and share that with all of you. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to cover everything in a half hour. I did go very fast in covering all the features of the VLC. You can click on the link and look at those screenshots. I don't have to go that shot by shot. I will say this, for the show notes tonight, you're going to have MemTest 86, an Amazon link to the Corsair Vengeance RAM that I have in my system, link for the Malwarebytes Tech Bench portable computer PC repair toolkit, Crystal Disk Info portable, CPU-Z, VLC link, and the 7 top secret features of the free VLC media player. That will be all of the links in the show notes. And, of course, there will be a couple others. And as a matter of fact, there was another update this week. Fabs Auto Backup Pro. My son tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. will be at a real estate company where one of the people just got a brand new system, and he is going to use Fabs Auto Backup to transfer all of the data and settings from the hard drive on the one laptop to the new system. Can't live without Fabs. We use it almost every single day. As a matter of fact, yesterday my son was using it. I know, because we're selling a system for one of our clients where his computer died, and we had a computer, a refurb that we already had in stock, and he's transferred the data already for that. So you got Fabs. Amazon, please don't buy anything from Amazon without using my link. I really appreciate that. It makes such a big difference. And remember, since the beginning of August, the link changed. So update your links and share that with everybody, family members, everything. Magnus Box for all your online backup needs. Don't forget to mention the Mike Tech Show. You're going to get that free white labeling, which you're going to want to brand. So that is very cool. Okay. Instant house call. Whew, got mixed up there. Give me a second here. See, you can't just start clicking on links. That's a problem. I started messing up the overlays. Instant house call, that's what you need for your remote access. I'm going to be on it tonight. I've just kicked off an update for a client system for the latest Windows 10, and I had to use the update assistant, and I'm going to be remoting in after the show to make sure everything's perfect. And of course, I'm going to be using Instant House Call. That's it for tonight's show. I will see you next Thursday night, which is Veterans Day, November 11th. See you here, same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.